So, immediately after the unboxing, I am in fact kitting it up. I was going to kit it up in the Art Dot containers that I had, the 3 level of storage containers, but I have yet to kit down my old paintings in that. So I'm like, screw it, I don't want to take the time to kit down because I do keep my drills. So I don't want to take the time to kit down, so we are going to use this, which is the containers that Tita got me a while ago. They're the square ones, but the whole lid opens. So cool. I did take some of these out, put them in a smaller container to use for another painting, and I got some of the small ones too that I put in here. So this was all large ones, but now it's large ones and small ones. However, it looks like I may be missing one. There should have been one more in here. There's 2 small ones right here too. But 2 small ones equal 1 big one, so cool. Also, these are pretty tight. I actually normally would probably take out a row, because that's just pretty tight. And now I would put cardstock spacers in between each this way, and cardboard ends here to make it tight enough without being too tight. That's normally how I work on this. So I think I'll cut the cardboard later, but actually the box that it came in, repurposing. Where did I put my little mini scissors? Any of you guys like repurposing stuff? Because garbage. Splitters. Yes. Saves me my cardstock paper and saves me having to throw this in the garbage, because to throw these boxes in the garbage, I kind of smash them down and rip them apart anyway, just to make them fit better. But I'm not going to be reusing this white box, so it is garbage, or it can be repurposed. It's nice when you can correctly repurpose garbage. And I say correctly because there is sometimes where garbage should just be garbage. But in this case, this is a good use of this. So we're going to cut that off, and it'll fit in here with a cut right here. Like that. And then height-wise, cutting it in about half looks to be decent. No, I am not measuring. As long as they're below the top of the containers, it doesn't matter. So, that's a little tall. That one's decent, so I'm just going to cut a little bit more off this one. Actually, this edge here that came over the fold, that's where I'll cut it. So these don't have to be cut perfect, but they do help. At least they help me a lot to have these in here, because then when I set my trays like this, they don't spill over on each other. They can slide down this way, but they can't slide over. So depending on how you sit it, you might want to do your dividers this way. Like if I sit it this way, it's cool to have dividers this way. If I'm sitting it this way, obviously I'd want the dividers this way. So depending on how you're going to sit your case next to you, if you're going to sit it on a surface that leans, decides how you're going to do your dividers. I don't know why this became a tutorial video of hows and whys of what I do this, but cool. Kitting up turned videos that might give you guys some ideas. You guys like ideas sometimes. We all like random little ideas like this sometimes. So obviously, since I have the small ones up there, there's going to be 2 small ones in the same area that there is a big one in. Okay, these 2 are a little too long. Again, it's because they're not cut straight, so it might be like some tips are longer than the other, so we're just going to cut a bit off. Again, as long as they fit in here loosely isn't a bad issue. They can have a little bit of wiggle room. It's not concerning. So now we're going to cut some more panels off our box. I think I'd probably use a razor blade or a scalpel for this normally, but the scissors were here. I'm being lazy and using scissors. I'd probably get a straighter cut if I actually use my cutting board, my ruler, and a sharp blade. And yes, cutting this like this will wear down your scissors, so don't do so with scissors you like. Am I the only one that has a pair of scissors that are crappier scissors for cutting the paper and snack bags and zip ties or whatever's next to you, and then you have a good pair of scissors that you prefer not to use to cut anything? And I also do have material scissors. They're in a drawer though, so they're not accessible unless I want to access them. So I won't accidentally grab material scissors to use for stuff like this. But I do have a more decent pair of scissors that I do keep right next to the crappy scissors. These containers also have not been all rearranged. I rearranged them all where the lids all face one direction. I haven't done that yet. And actually, I might put some background music to this. If you hear background music to this, then I did. If you don't, then I didn't. But I had somebody say they liked the last song I did. Well, I didn't just do the one, so I do have some more music for you guys. They're all bard-like, tavern. Think of The Witcher and like old medieval hero dungeon style music, because I like that. The more storytelling folk song. So I made a few about diamond painting. And yes, I'm making a mess I'm gonna have to pick up later. Could I do it now? Yes. Too lazy. One job at a time, which actually makes more work, right? Because now instead of just throwing it away, it's now all over, so I have to pick up each piece. So you know how being lazy makes more work for you? It really does. And sometimes I will actually take these and put some this way too, and cut the slits in them this way, and then this way, so that they can slide into each other and make squares, like you get glasses in, or... There used to be these little, I don't know if they still have them. There used to be these little animal glass figures that came in like this grid shape like that. It was like a cardboard box going this way with a slit on the top, and this one with a slit on the bottom, so they slide into each other. Cups come in a box like that. So if I don't want these to move too much, I will do that, and since they're lower than the box lids, it's easier to grab the boxes out that way. And with this movable space, it's obviously easier to grab the boxes out as well. We're obviously not going to need this many boxes, and if I had a smaller container, I'd probably just grab a few of these boxes, put it in a smaller container. But we have quite a few colors, and I don't have a smaller box right now anyway. And these will sit aside to go in a smaller box. You know, one of those boxes that are like half of this. About half, a little bit less than half, I think. So, here's our stickers. Now, here's our drills. And they look like they're in DMC order. So this is the end which are not DMC order because these are these two here. But it looks like I'm going to be in DMC order. Look at all the pretty blues. So this is one set of train. Second set of train. And the third set of train. I am going to start here. The lowest number. Yes, that's what we're going to do. Alright, now I am going to have this actually sitting next to me like this. So I want my lids facing down like this. I'm going to do this before I put the stickers on, because otherwise the sticker might go on at the wrong angle. I might actually just take the small ones out and just use large ones. Obviously, I'm sure quite a few colors don't need to be in large ones, but now they have a little bit of play. Easy to grab. Cool. I also have to kit down a bunch of paintings. Like I said, I do keep my drills, so I gotta go through kitting down paintings. I like kitting down paintings. I find it relaxing to sit there and match color codes. It's another part of diamond painting, in my opinion. I like it. I'm sure some other people don't, and if you want to throw your drills out, cool. I have, in fact, used drills I've kept. Sadly, I was just trying to use some drills I kept recently, and no luck. I did not have the color I want. You guys remember that cat painting? I had a poll, should I start the cat painting or should I continue working on my other landscape painting? And working on the cat won, and I wanted to work on the cat, so I started working on the cat. I got a square kind of done, but sadly, they did not give me enough colors for it. They have black where it should be dark green. They have black where it should be dark red. I don't like that idea, so I wanted to use dark green. I looked through the drills I kept for my old paintings, and I do not have any dark green left over. I did have a dark red. Well, it's kind of like a dark red brown color I picked because it fit better than just the dark red with the colors that it was around, because they used like a dark purple, and transitioning from the red to the dark purple to a dark red didn't seem right, but transitioning to the brown like color actually seemed like it made more sense. So I looked through what colors I thought I had enough of for what the painting needed and was dark enough but still within the shades that fit the painting. So that painting is going to have different colors when I finish it. It's not going to have the colors that it suggests that I put in it. I am using the black for the cat, obviously, but I don't think the leaves on his head should be black. On his head. He has a leaf on his hat. But also all the leaves in the corner of the painting are black, and it's like, obviously it's the darker green shading of the leaf. It should not be black. I don't know, maybe it would look okay black, but I just don't think it seems right. So I'm not doing it black. So I need to find a dark green to do that with. Sadly, because I don't have enough large containers to not have some small ones in here for this, obviously. So I'm just going to have my bottom row be smalls, which is just going to be unused to keep the row straight. I'm going to have to probably order a dark green because I don't have it in my spare drills, and I'm going to need quite a bit of it. I am going to need quite a bit of dark green for that painting, which obviously means I'm going to have a bunch of black left over from that painting, which black is one of the colors you seem to always get left over. Black, white, your 939, and there's a second white too. There's like 2 different white colors. So that looks decent, and look how many containers I have just thrown over here that I am going to have to find a new home for. I do have an empty container somewhere I can put those in. And I probably will end up kitting them up with that too. But anyway, we're going to start at the top. And since those are in order and these are in order, I am probably... yeah, I'm going to change this order, but I think I will kit it up all in order first, and then I'm going to rearrange this so letters are with each other, symbols are with each other, because I prefer to work by that. I just put the sticker on there, but I think I might have a little bit of OCD or something. I can't, I was looking, I'm like, no, you can't leave that like that. You gotta fix it. So I fixed it. Not been diagnosed with it, so I'm not saying I have it, but how could I leave that sticker so awkward on that container? That was a no. I mean, it's still not perfectly square, but I'm not going to take hours doing this, but I can't just pop them on the lid. I can't do that. I can't let them be at awkward angles. I'm sure some people could just put one straight up and the one sideways and the one crooked. Like, no thanks. I know some people actually put washi tape below these so they're easier to remove. I don't. If there's some sticky residue left on my container, oh well, it will be covered by the next sticker when I pull these off. And to pull these off, I can use my tweezers. And yeah, that's something else. My little nice death stabby tweezers, the little pointy tweezers, they get under stickers nicely. If they slightly leave a scratch, they slightly leave a scratch. Like, it's going to be covered by the sticker. But they get under the stickers nicely, and I do actually have a pair that I use for removing sticky stuff or popping drills on my canvas versus a pair that I use to actually lay stuff down on the canvas because I don't want the sticker residue on my drills I'm freshly laying down. I have gotten better with multi-placing squares. Like, I'm still not a huge fan of multi-placing squares, but I have got better with it. So, squares probably go a little faster now that I don't just like tweezer place and individually place them, but I am doing this like out of view of you guys when I'm putting the sticker on. I'm sorry. Pulling it closer to me and not letting you guys see me put the stickers on. I will scoot forward. How about that? I don't know why I was sitting so far back. So, hold it like this. You get all your nice tabs up so it's easy to just pull one off. Nice and easy. Oops. The sticker wanted to come off too soon. It's not its turn. Actually, you know what? To make sure it doesn't get stuck to the other ones, it stays. I'm going to put it on a container. Leave the container just laying here. So, how's everybody's paintings going? How's everybody doing with the being sick part? Apparently that's going around. So, Mom is sick right now. We just had an appointment recently, and the person we had that appointment with had just got over being sick. Their whole family's sick over Christmas and New Year's. So that's like, did they give it to us or were they finally over it by the time we saw it? I say us, I mean Mom and the other family members, not me. At least not yet. But I don't know, I've had a little bit of contact with them, so maybe I'll end up getting sick too. Maybe not. Hopefully not, obviously, but drink some of my nice tea that'll help with that maybe, and maybe that will help in case, right? But apparently there's like a flu or something crazy going on. Don't know. Oh, come on. Don't bend. Just lift up. Thank you. So, all of our stickers stuck out and ready. Oh, I almost forgot our last boy. He is 82, so yeah, that goes here. Because this one is 800. Yep. By the way, 782 after 779. Did I say all the numbers? No. Did I know what I was talking about? Yes. I need one more large container up here. It would be faster if I didn't care that the stickers were neater, because I could just stick them on it while it's in here like this and just stick them on. But no, I want to pull them all up and stick them on here, so they're at least a little more centered and a little more equal. And I don't put them in the center containers. I put them at the bottom of the containers because I can use the bottom edge to make sure they're more accurately straight. And apparently my back is starting to hurt from how I'm sitting here on the ground. Woohoo! Go me. At least it's distracting from my shoulder. I don't know what I did, if I did something to it, or if I just slept bad, but ugh, my shoulder has been killing me the last few days. Was supposed to go to the chiropractor, but because Mom was sick, we didn't go out, so appointment got delayed. Any of you guys go to chiropractors? I know some people think they're frauds, some people think they work. I don't know. I definitely think it seems to help sometimes. Other times it doesn't seem like it does anything. So, I don't know. But I do think more often than not it seems like it does help. Especially with the shoulder pain I have or something like that. I have had once where the adjustment just didn't go right and it actually caused more pain. But he was afraid of that and he told me to come back if that was the case. So later that day it's like, yep, it didn't settle down. So I fixed it. And then it was fine. But I was just watching this weird medical documentary about somebody that decided to try to crack their own neck, which chiropractors hate you calling them bone crackers or saying cracking. But I just watched this medical thing about somebody trying to crack their own neck and causing themselves quite a bit of harm. I am going to leave it at that because it's one of those little brain worms that will forever live in your brain and make you wonder if something you're doing is something that could kill you, or, you know, it's just, don't adjust yourself, you know? But it was a little bit more than that. Like, you had to have certain medical issues, you had to, like, there was more to it, so the likelihood of it happening to anybody is probably low, but it's a possibility. And obviously chiropractors tell you not to adjust yourself. That's not just because they want your money. That is because you can do harm if you do it wrong and you don't know what you're doing. They do still have some form of medical training to tell them how to do so and where certain pieces of the body are and stuff like that. Yeah, so we've been going to the chiropractor for years now. Yeah, I'll leave it at years. It's probably been at least 10. Like, wow. So they do give you extra stickers. There's like a whole row here. I don't know if you could write on these because they seem like they're like really glossy, like stuff would wipe off, but I'm not sure. Also, because I always forget to put any notification of what these drills are. Notification, that sounds wrong, but I always forget to put anything with the drills to tell me what the drills belong to. I am going to cut this photo and put it in here. Yes, it's a photo. Yes, this whole thing is a sticker. I could rip it off, but it's not cut apart from it. This is all one piece. And I lost my other scissors. How do you lose your scissors when you just had them in your hand and you're sitting on the floor and... But, yeah, there we go. This is all one piece. And like I said, the frames here all were stuck to that. I could take this off and stick this on the case, but I'm not going to. Why? Because I'm probably going to put the sticker with the finished painting. But this length won't fit here, so I am going to go ahead and fold it around the painting. Isn't it a pretty lighthouse, though? I really don't know. I've been very interested in lighthouses since we did our lighthouse in the sea. So now we're going to do land and sea. So there, I made it like this. That should... Yep, that'll slide right in there. So I'm going to slide that right on in here. So now it's just to kit them up. And again, something I do which would probably drive people nuts, and I could have done this while I was putting the stickers on. I open all the containers first. At least I like opening all the containers first. If my fingers will cooperate. Is there a better way to do this? Maybe. Is this the best way to do it? I don't know, maybe. I have no idea. But this is what I like doing. Because these are all in order and the trains are all in order, this is how I like to do this. So I did notice while these are nice, going like that to pop these open, because you can't just squeeze them open, can get a little annoying for your nails or your fingertips. So they might not be the best containers for certain people. In some ways, the other ones where the lid can just like lift up with like any part of your finger is decent. These ones you actually have to unhook it from around the plastic latch. And I don't know if you can tell because I've been doing this for a while, my voice is trying to go on me. My throat is starting to hurt. I don't know why. It's just something about me. I feel like it's like kind of always been there. I can't talk for very long without getting a really sore throat. Does it stop me? No. I think I've said this before too, but I either don't talk or I don't shut up. I have an on and an off switch. So you either get rambling banter or you get nothing. Work on it as we go. Figure out a new method to do so, huh? Hold 3, go pop, pop, pop. Open them all, put your fingers in so you can drop them back in the hole. Look at that. That's a little bit better than pulling them all out individually. Pop goes the caps. Actually, I was just thinking, I pulled the first train out to start the first train, but we actually want to start at the back of the last train. Because of having all the lids open, we'd have to work over all the lids unless we go this way and close them as we go. So, I actually did this a little reversed of what I should do it. But we haven't got to that part yet, so I just grab a different train before we start. And we'll be good to go. Almost done with the opening of containers. And then I can show you what I'm talking about with where I'm starting. So, all of our containers are done. Now, I actually want to start with our 2 shiny ones, because those are this last one right here. What did I do with those gray scissors? Oh, literally sitting right under my leg. So, again, cut this open. Pour it into the container. And it will not fit the second bag. So I normally just say, cool, second bag can go down here for later. Moving on. Gray. Cut it open. Pour it into its container. And you see how I'm closing the lids as I go, so I don't have to lean over every lid to pour them in the container. That's what I was referring to about starting at the end. Alright, so next up we got this brown. Cut it open. Pour it into the container. Close the lid. Yeah, that looks like a brown symbol. Probably good, right? A few extras didn't want to go in there. I'm going to actually purposely spill them in here, so if I run out, I can just grab them. These 2 look like the same color. They're both the same color. So that's when, again, I'm going to cut it here. Cut it here. Save this one down here. And chop this one open. So there was some static in that bag by the looks of it. These ones seemed like they wanted to stick to the bag. Not bad, but they did seem like they stuck to the bag. So anyway, onwards we go. These 2 look like they're the... Oh, wait. Those 3 are all the same. And yes, I'm looking at the numbers upside down because I'm working at the end of the train. So again, I only want 1, these 2, and to make more room, we will get rid of these. And these 2 will sit right here. Cool. Now, I mean, I could use all the containers, but is there a point to use all the containers? Because I'm just going to grab this container and have to put it on this. I don't have a label on this container, or I could put that whole bag in the container, but some spilled in here that shouldn't have been in here. See, there is some static. See that static? There is some static going on here. So again, like I said, companies should give you extra drills, so I shouldn't really have to care about the drills that went missing, but right now I have a bunch of random colors below this, which I'll just empty this all out and pour it all out at the end. But do we got enough of this one blue here? Is there enough of that blue? Again, only need 1. So these other ones I'm going to wrap up and stick down here. Again, this is just how I like to do it. Could I get something to help with the static? Yes. Am I going to? No. Why? Because I'm me, and I'm lazy, and I don't feel like getting up to do it. And I don't feel like cutting a dryer sheet, and I don't feel like touching a dryer sheet. I don't like the feel of them. Have I done it? Yes. Does it seem to help? Yeah. So now we got 3 of these. Again, only need 1 though. Pour it in here. So yeah, if I run out of drills, I can just look under this and color match. Is that the best way to do it? I'm sure it's not. Is this the wrong train? This is the wrong train. Which train was I on? Dun dun dun. I just lost my train that I was working on. Or I grabbed it by the wrong side. No, I finished the train. That's what happened. Okay, so 3810. 3843. 3843. Okay. So it was one of these. And this is why some people don't want to do it this way, because that they just put in shit. That's why some people don't like doing it like that. Go me. So are these not, these aren't all one color. They're not all one color. Those were close. I got distracted. I got deceived. This is 3843. This goes in here. There we go. Which, there's no static now that it's out of the bag. Cool. So, 3845 and 3846. I did 3846. I did not do 3845. 3846 is accurate. 3845 is the one I need. That's this set. Those 2 blues looked very close. So again, this is why doing it this way might not be the best option. But it works for me. I caught it in time. And if I mix up those 2 blues, would it really cause a huge issue? I'd prefer not to find out. But ouch. This is why doing that this way, where you just keep going as they're all open, doesn't make the most sense, but we're at 3810. Just gotta make sure you're looking at the colors correctly. Like, these are 2 different colors, not the same color. Those last 2 colors were very close. And it might just be this lighting, because, again, I'm just using phone flash, but those last 2 are very close. And if I kept doing this, and I'll figure out by the time I got to a more colorful color that was one off like I just did, and I would just go back, pour them into an empty container, or move the sticker to a different container, and it'd be fixed. No big deal. Now I'm grabbing the lid a little bit more often to check. Dun dun dun. And am I getting some cross-contamination from doing this? Yep. I can guarantee I'm getting some cross-contamination. Again, it's something I don't really mind. I will pick them out as I work on the painting. Okay, we have 2 browns here. This brown already has a little cross-contamination. There's a little red light guy in there. This is a very dark brown. Not one Mom would be a huge fan of diamond painting with, because she has trouble seeing her dark colors. I think somebody before told me that it made him anxious watching me do this. Do you get that way? Is this like, no, don't do that like that? So you're all wrong. Don't do it like that. Huh? I could actually have one of these containers open and just drop all the excess drills into it. 46. Yep. I've done that in the past, actually, where I'll just put all this in a container. So again, you got to go hunting through different shades of drill, but you know they all go to the painting. So if you run out, you still can achieve a full painting with the drills that came with it. Right now I'm just letting them drop in the bottom of the container. This one's a tiny, tiny amount. This is an accent detail for something that's not in the painting a lot. That was tiny. Now I'm on an orange. Breathing in them definitely works. Okay. Cool. I don't have to get up and deal with dryer sheets or touch dryer sheets. Breathing in them does work. Cool. Ouch. We got another brown. Just when you breathe into them like that, you're like to see the cold breath against the glass. Don't actually blow in them and blow the drills all over. I've accidentally blown in my drills before and actually had one shoot up and in my mouth. That was fun. So yeah, you want the kind of hot, moist breath, not air. And it definitely does help. It got the top layers off, but these bottom ones that were covered with drills are still stuck on there. Yep, do that and they immediately came off. So you might have to do so into the bag more than once if the bag is deep with drills. And if anybody's actually watching and listening to this, I have no idea because I probably scared a bunch of you off already with how I'm hitting this up. And how long the video is. Ugh, long video. It's like this one. If I breathe in it, these top drills will come loose, but these bottom drills are still going to be coated, so they're not going to work. So. So, now you can see most of the top drills are no longer stuck. But I pour those out and you still have this layer at the bottom that's stuck. So I blew into that, now you can see there. I guess blew into is not quite the right word. Like I said, you don't want to blow on it, you just want to exhale into it. So now 844. And our 844 also has a little red hanging out. poured a lot of those in the container next to it. So all of those wanted to stick in the pack. So go ha into it and then tap around and there they go. Most of them are loose. Still a few stragglers, but what, one that didn't come out of the pack? And again, if that one makes the difference between having enough for the painting or not, they didn't give me enough. I have had a painting where I literally went down to the last few drills. I've actually had a painting where I was low by like 3-4 drills. So I just kind of moved a few colors around on the painting. So I could put the color that was next to the outline and you wouldn't notice. Like if you have a green bush and it has a few darker greens and a few lighter greens, you run out of a few light greens. Make sure you move the dark greens over towards the edge of the light green or whatever, and then put a few more rather than just putting the light inside the dark. You will move your drills to the side a bit and do so. That works. So I've had to do that on a few occasions. Because you don't want like this border of black and then put a navy blue at the end of the border of the black when there was a navy blue before the border of black. So you'd have to move a few of your border of black drills to the end to put the navy blue next to the navy blue and the black next to the black so it doesn't like skip and then go back to the color. And again, some decent little facts for you guys. Don't know how many of you guys are watching this that need to know any of that though and already know it, or maybe it's a reminder, or maybe I'm just talking to myself now. Most people don't watch a video long enough that they'll hear any of this information I'm saying. Most people probably left before I even got all the containers open. Before I got even all the stickers put on the containers. So. Some of you guys might be listening to while you're doing other stuff and actually still be listening, but for the most part, people don't watch the whole video. I think even my unboxing videos, the watch time is a lot less than the videos. And that's not a complaint, it's just a fact. I've skipped around videos too. I've sped videos up, so I have actually watched the whole video, but my watch time was less than the video length. I do that quite frequently. But yeah, when a 13-minute video is not getting full watch time, anything over 30 minutes definitely does not get full watch time. And whether you skip into it or not, who knows? Because it tells you how much watch time you have, but it doesn't tell you. Like, well, you kind of see which part of the video people watch most, but you know if they watch till that piece or, like, skip into that piece, like. Alright, so now we're on to the last train. Uh-oh. The dog has something to say. Supposedly putting lotion or something on your hands is supposed to help with the stick too. So dryer sheets, lotion, humidity, which is why you breathing on it like that's supposed to help, is because it's the humidity, the extra moisture added to it. So also something else I've seen is supposedly if these bags, I mean, you do see like a tiny hint of a pinhole there. Maybe you guys see it, maybe you don't. But supposedly having a pinhole in it makes it where the static doesn't stick in them like that. So maybe these pinholes just aren't fully going through, or who knows, but supposedly that helps. So I just realized I never told you guys how many colors were in this painting when I unboxed it. 46. And after kitting this up, my desire to work on it isn't going to be there. I'm going to sit back and drink a tea. Does that mean I dislike kitting it up? No. It just means my shoulder and back want to rest. So I wanted to work on it, which is why I'm kitting it up now, but I'm not going to end up working on it until later today or tomorrow. Because I need a break. Oh, that's an interesting light blue. Wonder how long I've been doing this for. What's it say, an hour? I can't quite see the numbers on my phone. I got you guys on the phone arm, but I have the phone arm screwed onto an end table next to me. And you're sitting up higher than my head height. So I gotta sit up quite straight to look at the camera, and then the camera is more at a straight angle down, so I can't really see the red text up here at the top. Uh-oh. Dog wants out. Let's see how much longer it takes me to get through this last 2 rows. Sorry if you guys hear that for a little while, because once she starts, she doesn't really stop till I let her out. It's one of those like walk-in kennels, so the door has that little latch that like falls down and lifts up, and the door has some play so you can like shake it, and it's that latch hitting against the metal frame making all the noise. I guess, would you call it a dog run instead of a kennel? It's like those walk-in dog runs. So the latch is just like this U that falls over the pipe. So it makes quite a bit of noise. And if that made anybody curious, no, it's not actually a full dog run. I took panels from dog runs and customized them into separate kennels. So they are taller and longer than my 42-inch kennels that I used to have, but they are still just around that size with more head height, more length. I don't remember each panel size, but they're basically around 2 panel deep and 1 panel wide. And I got screws that go into the metal, and some hinges, and some locks, and made them into my own dog kennel run things. But it is using basically one of those dog run kennels split into multiple different pieces. I wanted to give them more space. And now they have the head height to bounce. My one girl, she literally boing, boing in the kennel. But the interesting thing is, my dog that likes to eat everything hasn't really been eating blankets as much since I did give her the slightly larger kennel. And she still puts herself away in it when she decides she's done hanging out in the living room or anything else. She will go put herself away. So she does still feel comfortable in it. It's still a nice place to hide out. Well, that's all good. We're getting there, getting there, getting there. It's always this last little bit when you're like, I'm finished now. At least for me. I hate finishing things, apparently. That's horrible, isn't it? But I hate finishing things, apparently. I've said before, with painting, it's part of, oh crap, what do I gotta do next? And the fact that you gotta open multiple little containers to get single or 2 or 3 drills out of them. I don't like opening a container and then opening another container and then opening another container all the time like that. Talking about which, how do you guys do square paintings? Because apparently I was told that it's odd that I do all one color in an area when I work on a square painting. Like, do you do square paintings differently than you do round paintings and not just work on a single color? Like, I know some people don't even work on a single color in an area on rounds, but I mean, I'm definitely not going to do a square painting row by row switching my drills that often. So I found that comment a little strange. I'm curious how you guys normally work on your square paintings. And is it different than how you normally work on your round paintings? Or is it the same as how you normally work on your round paintings? Do you switch colors, or do you do all of one color in an area first? After this, some tea. Now the question is, what tea do I want? I got some green tea with mint, green tea with ginger, or green tea with elderberry. Or I could have my sweet and spicy. I like my sweet and spicy too. But I already had a sweet and spicy. And mint is good for the sore throat. And the family is sick, and me hanging out with them for a little bit has the possibility of having to try to give me something. Ginger apparently is good for that. So is the elderberry. And of course, so is mint. So maybe I shouldn't have a second sweet and spicy, which is why I list the other ones first. And we're on our last 2 bags. So I could have actually done this as a live with you guys and talked to you guys while I was doing this. But the issue is I'm sitting on the floor here. My computer's over there. I couldn't see what you guys were saying. I could make it work. I could do a few things to make it work, but I would probably spend at least just as long as the video, if not longer, to have made it work. Because I would have to, at the very least, I would have to grab a second phone or tablet or laptop or something to sit here to be able to read chat as you guys post. being a little bit better about it, I would have to open OBS on that device. I would have to install it on the device and connect my phone to it on that device. And so, yeah. There's the quick way, and then there's the more complex way. I have thought about putting OBS on my other devices too, though. And we are done with that part. Now, another thing that I normally do that I didn't do this time, who knows why I decided not to do it this time. Normally, I have this bag that they all came in sitting next to me, and I just put the bags in here as I finish with them. I don't know why I didn't do it this time, but normally I just do this as I finish them. So you get all your bags that are empty in here, and then you can just close it up again. Now you can throw it in the garbage can or whatever. And they're not all separate. And then I'm going to just go ahead and pick up some of the drills that fell out on my painting here. Then I'll just vacuum the floor and get the last few up that I missed. Because there's a few on the floor. And we got this stuff. Back in the tube. Back in the tube. I probably should put the painting back in the tube too, actually, but oops. I mean, even if I am working on the painting later today, it'll be safer in the tube till I get it set up on my light board than sitting it somewhere like this. Oh, sealer. I am curious about this. And actually, I'm going to grab all my little containers and throw them in here for now too. Which means I am obviously not going to put the painting back in here. I'm just going to have to set it up on a light board. Or cool. These are labels that came with those containers. I'm going to put those in the tube too. This tube will house all this stuff till the container gets reset for the next painting. I guess. Now, something I've also... Uh-oh, my battery's low! Something I've also done is I've taken these containers, instead of cutting these bags open, I have kind of like folded them up and shoved them in the container. So that I knew the number without having to put a label on the container, or I've cut the bag open and put this in with the drills in the container. Anyway, apparently, I have been recording long enough that my battery went from almost full to under 15%. So, with that, I have finished this part. This is what we're working on. Land and sea is what I'm going to call it. Have fun, pick a painting that's land or sea, and work on it with us. Mom has a few she's going to work on with us as well. And she definitely should be feeling better by the end of this month, next month. So hopefully you guys have a nice day, night, or morning. Hopefully your day, night, morning continues to go well, and I will have more for you. Sorry about the dog again. I'm about to go deal with her.